So welcome back, guys. This is the long-awaited tutorial that I wanted to do, and I will do it in a couple of segments. I cannot show you what I'm pressing during the games, but I will analyze how defending is working now with this new updates and everything. First, I'm going to separate this video in 3 segments, guys. First is going to be controls. Second is going to be player stats. And third segment is going to be in-game situations, and I will going to explain why I did it, what I pressed in that situation, and how I anticipate what is going to be on the pitch. This works for the guys who are manually defending, for the guys who learn how to play without turning on the backline and waiting for the backline to just be there and intercept the balls. This tutorial is not going to help them that much, maybe getting the ball in the midfield area, but at the back line it's not going to help them, because this is for people who are manually playing the defense, who are not using smart assist, who are not relying on AI back positioning, who are manually pressing opponents, who are manually tackling opponents, who are doing everything manually in this game. This is tutorial for all of you guys. So without further ado, let's go into the control system. So this is how I mapped my controls. I have special controls, cursor charge, dash, and everything like this. Attack control system is not that important. What I have is, on the special controls, I have call for pressure. Matchup is on my L2. Pressure, manually pressing, is on the square button. And why is that? Because if I take the ball in my defense, I can tap again the square button to clear the ball. Manually, I always pressure my opponents, but when I want to position myself a little bit better, I hold slightly pressure button so I can go into the space. And then I tap matchup to get into the opposition's player, and I do standing tackle. Why I do standing tackle? Because most often, if opponents and they have gamemanship card, you will be rewarded with a foul if you mistype the shoulder charge. If you're playing on smart assist, this is not a trouble, but if you're playing on manual, like normal people would do, you will have shoulder charge barge into the penalty area, and it's always 80% penalty when you do that, especially if the opposition has gamemanship card on his player. That is why I use standing tackle, so I can do it. Especially if my opponent is running towards me, I hold matchup and X, and he does the standing tackle to take the ball. If you use it as a tap double, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But for fluidity and everything, I use it like this. You don't need to play like me, but those combinations are actually quite good, that I find astonishing, especially if the gameplay is fluid. If you have lag, then nothing is going to help you, but that's the different story. So that is when it comes to control system. Matchup is on L2. Pressure is on square button, because if I get the ball, especially in the last 16 meters, it needs to be automatically cleared. That is why I have pressure. Also, why I have pressure on square is if you're pressuring with your attacker opponent in his 16 meters. On that pressure, you will take the ball and you just tap it, and you have instantaneous chance for the goal. That is why I have pressure on the square button. That is what I learned from playing FIFA a couple of years, that it's better to have pressure on the square button, because you can have 2 instantaneous movements. If it's dangerous in your defense, you can automatically clear the ball. If it's a good chance that you can take the ball around the 16 box, you have a good chance to take the shot and surprise your opponent. That is why I use pressure on the square button mostly as that. And now let's go into the segment how I build my defensive players. When it comes to the build-ups and generally defenders, if you have a tall player, you don't need to have that much of defensive awareness, tackling, aggression, and engagement. But you need to have at least, if he's tall, 193 centimeters, minus 100, that is how his physical contact needs to be. 96. Speed needs to be above 85 to 90 for the center backs. If it's above that, it's even better, especially with Lilian Thuram and other players. Acceleration needs to be 75 to 80 or 85 to above if it's a lower player, because of the length of his legs. He needs to have much quicker acceleration to get that speed. With the lengthy players like here Van Dijk, Van der Ven, Rijkaard, Rio Ferdinand, and so, you need to have acceleration almost 80 so they can quickly catch up the players that are running behind you, especially with the triangle spammers that we often face in this division hellhole that we play. You need to have fast pace and strong defenders, and that is why I have builds like this. As same goes for Rio Ferdinand, I need to just put a shutdown on him and he will have almost better build when it comes to speed than his counterpart Van Dijk. When it comes to the fullbacks, again 90 speed, 91 acceleration. On the bench I have Nuno Mendes, who is 93 speed, 90 acceleration. Emphasis is on this. Tak, on the other hand, he cannot be built faster than this, but you can maximize his acceleration. With that acceleration, he needs to be played in the center of the mid of your back three. So that is why I build them like this. Maldini again 88, 81 as a speed, because I play him on the side. You always want to have side players, either fullbacks or defensive fullbacks or whatever you are playing on the sides. If you're playing 4, if you're playing 3 center backs, if you're playing 4 at the back, your sides needs to be much faster than the middle ones. In the middle one, you can mix one slow and one fast defender, but most of the time building them like this would give you advantage over players that can be catch up. Also in the midfield, if you're having deep lying playmakers like this, you can have them 85 speed as well. I have also Rijkaard 87 speed, 82 speed is Sergio Busquets, but yeah, you get what I want to say. And that is why people are asking, how come my defenders are catching up Mbappe, catching up Pele, catching up Eto'o, catching up even Rummenigge, Romario, and every speedster when they send a lofted pass. When they send a through ball, if you're too aggressively up, then you need to time it sliding tackle, but you need to catch them up. And you need to have defenders with sliding tackle skill trait as well. But when they are sending lofted balls, often all of these my players are overrunning them because of the length of their builds. And yeah, so guys, this is the part of the builds. Now we are going to go into the matches itself, and I will explain situations, how to defend them and how to read them. So you'll see my opponent is going to do 1-2 pass, and look at this matchup, tackle, and that's it, clear the ball. Now you will see in this situation how I use just matchup to take the ball. This is matchup and taking the ball. Just go into the player, manually press and take the ball. So in this situation, you will see how I'm guarding passing lanes. And yeah, that's it. Just guarding the passing lanes. Again, I made a mistake there. Passing lane and matchup and tackle. So now you will see after the kickoff what is important, and the important is guarding the passing lanes. Look, I rush here, but then I guard the passing lane with a fullback, and then when I see that my defender is back, then I'm pressing again to the ball. Example of standing tackle and matchup. Especially when they use that heavy touch, that is the prime timing for you to do that. So now I will give you example of the best option for teammate pressure. So I lose the ball here, and I'm not using my defenders right now because I don't want to get them out of position. And now I'm using defender to close down the gap, second man pressure, and took the ball. Now I'm going to show you how I use just matchup to get my opponent out of balance and get out of the play. That is just plain matchup there. Nothing else was touched. Just matchup to get into the position of body and just push him out of the play. Now you will see situation when I lose the ball, how I just defend passing lanes. So here I try to do something in the midfield. Back pass, it's always a good option. Here I lost the ball. Now he has the advantage. I'm using the cutting passing lanes, and that's it. Just cut the passing lanes and use the matchup there to defend. Now you're going to see perfect example of the sliding tackle. So look at this. He has a touch that lose the ball afterwards, and I did the sliding tackle and cleared the ball. So guys, that would be defending tutorials. I wanted to have more situations of the sliding tackle, but unfortunately I deleted them, so that is the only one that I can show you. But every time sliding tackle works when your opponent has a heavy touch. Either it's in full sprint or he's starting the run sprint, then there is opportunity for you to do the sliding tackle like I did in the video. Again, I hope this helps you, and also you like my channel. Press like, share, subscribe if you're not already. I hope you enjoy other videos on my channel as well, and you can help me grow the channel, and I will be able to do more videos like this, even better ones. So everything means, again guys, thank you for watching, thank you for being lovely audience. We're going to see each other in the next videos.